Amerika bu immigrantlar yurti. Ammo bu zaminning ilk egalari Amerikaning tub aholisi. Oddiy til bilan aytganda hindular. Bu yerda qachonlardir hindularning har xil qabilalarining vakillari yashagan. Cherokee, Apache, Navajo. Va aynan bugun biz sizlar bilan birgalikda Big Hogan deb nomlangan joyda, bu Arizona shtati, Navajo hindular bilan intervyular o'tkazamiz. Assalomu alaykum hurmatli do'stlar, MrOtabekTv kanaliga va Arizonaga xush kelibsizlar. Bugungi intervyu orqali biz bilib olamiz, nima uchun hindularni hindular deb atash nihoyatda katta tarixiy xato. O'zi Navajo nomini kim bergan? Nima uchun bu ham xato? Qolaversa, nima uchun tub amerikaliklarni eng yomon ko'rgan bayrami bu Amerika Qo'shma Shtatlarining mustaqillik bayrami. Ularni hammasini bugungi intervyu orqali bilib olamiz. Demak, ushbu intervyuni birgalikda tomosha qilishni boshlaymiz. Good morning, Shalin.
Good morning.
In our language, instead of hi, we say assalamu alaikum. That's in Uzbek language. And what about in your language?
In our language, we say yate.
Yate. So the first question. Many people still say Indians, but that comes from a historical mistake. So what is the correct and respectful name for your people today?
We among ourselves, we like to be known as the Native American. And, among the Navajo people ourselves, we call ourselves Dene,
Dene.
the people.
Okay. So, and as I understand, Navajo, that was a joke. And that wasn't an official name, yes?
Yes. Yeah.
But what does it mean?
The Navajo?
Yes.
I believe it's coming from the Spaniards. And, from the Spaniards, they call it Navajo, which pretty much relates to, I guess, something like a sharp knife or a blade, from my understanding. But, among the people, we call ourselves Dene, meaning the people.
Did you try to change this name?
Yes, the Navajo Nation is trying to change their name to Dene, being well known as Dene, then, the Navajo.
Okay. So for the tourists, this is just a beautiful place. But for you, what does this land really mean?
Among the native people here, we pretty much call the whole, land here, Mother Earth. And this is more the Monument Valley, and as well as outside of the Monument Valley, this is all sacred land.
Secret land.
Sacred land, yes.
And the Monument Valley, it wasn't the name which was given by your people.
No, it wasn't given by us. It's given by the directors, movie directors and producers that came out here back in the early 1938.
What was the original name of this place?
The original name for the Monument Valley is Tebinjiske, and that's how, the people use it as a landmark for the area here.
And what does it mean to be Dene today?
Pretty much, we're proud to be Dene people because, it goes all the way back, when they first came to the area here.
What is one misunderstanding people have about Dene Nation today?
I guess mainly thinking that we're a small tribe and, that we actually didn't originate here, but pretty much we were originated here for years and centuries. And that's pretty much the mistake in that, we just came to the area here.
And what tradition are you most proud of?
And just carrying on their cultural and history and all that through generations of the younger ones and passing that on. And then also, they're also teaching it in school now to where before we had no Navajo language or anything taught in school. But now it has changed to where they're teaching it in schools.
We've been talking about a Navajo language. So during the World War II, Navajo language was famously used by Navajo code talkers.
Yes.
And can you tell us, is your language still strong among young people?
Oh yeah, it is still very strong. Most of our elders are still fluent Navajo, and then as the years go by, parents and then the younger kids, they're picking up the language too. And some of these families that live way off and remote, the tradition, and the Navajo language is still very strong today. And that's one of the reasons why they put it back into school to where they keep it on.
What visitors should understand before come to the Navajo land?
That the Navajo people do have respect for the land and the culture and the history, and we try to keep it strong.
How do you balance between modern life and traditional culture?
Well, it's kind of hard to balance that out, but a lot of the younger generations are balancing it pretty well now. It's mainly coming from the parents and the grandparents, and then keeping their teaching pretty much very strong with the younger generations.
Just teaching or family's background?
The family's background and everything, as they're tracing it back all the way, just like where they're coming from. And that is very important to the Navajo people.
So what about young Navajo people?
Younger,
do they try to keep their traditions, language?
Yes, they do. A lot of them, when they come back from school, education, they come home, it's back to the cultural and history and what their parents have been teaching them for years before they left. So that's kept very strong.
What gives you a hope for the future of your nation?
On the Navajo Nation, there's like about maybe 30 to 40% of the people don't have like the running water, electricity, and a lot of the things that outside of the reservation we don't have here on the Navajo Nation. And they're pretty much really working hard to having everybody get running water or electricity to them. And we're hoping that in the near future, everybody would have that and easier access to it. That's pretty much, and then a lot of the educations are more further out. Bringing more of that onto the Navajo Nation would be great.
I know that's politically incorrect question. You can dismiss it if you want. Did you vote for Mr. Trump?
Oh, no. No.
As I understand, the majority of Native Americans didn't vote for him. Is it right?
Yes. Pretty much they were already, against whatever he was planning. And so majority of the Navajo people, they voted against that.
Navajo hindularini madaniyatida har xil musiqaviy instrumentlar bor. Masalan, mana shu flute. Hozirda ijroni birgalikda tomosha qilamiz. Hello, sir, how are you?
Doing good.
So that is flute.
Yes.
A special national musical instrument for Navajo people.
Yeah, it was an adopted instrument. Okay?
Adopted.
But we to this day still use it, also for blessings and for ceremonial purposes. But this is a given instrument from the Plains Indians as well as many other tribes.
Okay. Bugun Arizona shtatida Navajo hindularini madaniyatini birgalikda o'rganamiz. So, would you like to play for us?
I would love to.
Please. Bu ularning milliy musiqaviy asbobi. As the representative of Native Americans, how do you feel when some voices in the immigration debate say that immigrants should leave this country?
Majority of the Native Americans, they do not feel that's right. They feel that, when they say immigrants to leave, they say, that this is our country. This is, we didn't just come here. And they prefer that people don't say, you're not from here. And it really bothers them that they say, even us were mistaken for, immigrants. And they, so there are some people that got taken in because of that, and it takes a long time. And most of the Navajo Nation, or even the Native tribes, they don't like it at all.
What do we have to know about Navajo's people?
Yes.
The main point, what do we have to know about them?
Well, we're a peaceful tribe as well.
First of all,
We're very in tune with Mother Nature, and we just love everybody. We treat everybody the same as we want to be treated. And also, on a different note, we are one of the largest tribes, probably the largest all over the United States, getting close to about 500,000. And the traditions and the culture is still coming back. It was getting lost at one time, but now it is, as we are getting more educated on the Navajo culture nowadays, that it is very important for all of us as Navajo to continue to teach the younger kids about who we are as Navajo.
I know that was a historical mistake when Christopher Columbus came here first, because he tried to find India.
Yeah.
That's why he called you Indians. Of course, that was a historical mistake. But one of the most famous Indian, Mahatma Gandhi, he was an ideological person for the Indian independence. He's once said, "My life is my message." So, if you can send a message to the world, what would you like to say?
That, well, first of all, Navajo people, they don't like to celebrate the Independence Day and then the Christopher Columbus.
Which is very obvious.
They call it Indigenous Day.
Indigenous Day.
Indigenous Day. And we would rather know that as an Indigenous Day. And that's what, most of the Native people would like to call it.
What Uzbek people have to know about the Dine people?
Pretty much, we'd like to be known as, Dine people who are more living off the land. Pretty much, every day is more, everything is cultural history and all that the teaching that they carry on. And a lot of the natives that live, way out and not in the city, they pretty much practice a lot of their culture. So, we always like to be known to have, respect for our culture and our history and all that they carry on. And then just living off the land.
Can you describe Dine people with 3 main words?
Very loyal and helpful, open hands, and pretty much very generous, if you get to know them pretty well. But very quiet, when you go face to face with the Navajo, they're very quiet.
So, kind, loyal, and quiet.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
In Navajo language, thank you.
Ahehe.
Ahehe. Ahehe.
Yeah.
As a bright representative of Navajo people, what kind of life lesson can you give us?
Always help one another. always take care of your family and keep teaching the younger generation how to live a balanced life.
Navajo hindularning qabilalarida va MrOtabekTv kanalida ko'rishguncha. Ehiha.
Very good. You must be Native American. You said that very well.
Thank you very much, sir. Take care.
All right.